I'm Joni Patry, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Well, today I'm going to talk about the month of September, where we have so many positive events that are going to prevail after such intensity of the past summer with the powerful eclipses that caused so much chaos, fires, destruction, anger. Many people even passed during this time because it was such a critical time. And remember, the time around eclipses is definitely the most intense. Before I start with the predictions, I want to remind everyone I have a conference coming up in October, next month, October 5th through the 7th in Dallas, Texas. And in this conference, we're going to be talking about the future of astrology. If you are interested in astrology and you want to know the future, please put this on your calendar, and I'd love to meet you in Dallas. So once again, the website is futureofastrology.com. So looking at the month of September, many things are positive that are about to occur. For one, September 1st, Venus is going to go into Libra, and it is going to stay there till January 1st because it's about to go retrograde. Now, let me remind everyone, once again, I am a Vedic astrologer. The placements I am referring to are the sidereal placements used in the Vedic astrology system I use. So if you're looking at Western tropical astrology, remember the Vedic signs fall backwards almost a full sign. So generally the sign positions of Western tropical astrology are a sign forward from where I'm referring to. So don't confuse the two. But going back to Venus, Venus is going to turn retrograde in October, but prior to its retrograde cycle, it seems to start to slow down. So for 4 months, it's going to stay in the sidereal sign of Libra. And this is powerful because Libra deals with balance, fairness, relationships, peace, but most of all, love. And many people, this is going to be the month where they feel more like opening their heart. Relationships become a focus. And for those of you that are looking to get involved in a relationship, this is the time, because this is really the time of healing the heart energy. And I just did a very specific, detailed video on the power of Venus and all that's going to be transpiring because of this new planetary awakening. So Venus is going to go retrograde in October, but you're going to see it starting to slow. And I want to make reference to an important date that I also did a video on, September 13th, because that's the time that Venus will align with Jupiter and the moon. And they are going to be in powerful Jupiter and the moon in the latter part of that day, if you're talking about the central time zone, will align in the nakshatra Vishaka. So that is a very powerful, auspicious day to do things. So if you go out in the night sky on that day, you should see the moon right in between Jupiter and Venus, because throughout this whole month, Jupiter and Venus will be traveling together in the sign of Libra. And what is so beautiful about this is that Jupiter is in Venus's sign. So therefore, Venus becomes empowered as the dispositor, actually, not only of just Jupiter, but also of Saturn and Mars. They all disposit to the sign Venus, because Venus is in its own sign of rulership, empowering it incredibly. So this is all about the need for peace, the need for love, the need for coming together. Because I do think this month we're not out of the water yet. It's not like it's going to be all lovey-dovey peaceful, because we still have Mars and Ketu traveling together. And this month, we will have Mars and Ketu exactly conjoin again. And the day that Mars and Ketu will come together will be between September 24th and 26th. They're going to come together about 9-10 degrees of Capricorn. So what we're going to find is that was the previous lunar eclipse degree. So it's going to activate one more time all the things that these eclipses were bringing up for us, this emotional turmoil, the issues from the past that we need to look at and to heal. There's going to be another uprising. And therefore, Mars and Ketu coming together, they do deal with terrorism, attacks, these type of situations of anger. So when they cross together again, there will be another event that awakens this energy. And for all of us individually, we're going to feel something that tells us what we need to be working on. Something in the area of our lives that we have ignored will surface, and we will have to deal with it. But this will also, because it's in Capricorn, affect world events with governments, with leaders, because this has been rampant the whole summer, that things have been evolving, turning governments and leaders the destruction of that which is not working. That's what's being revealed, and that's what's being brought up and destroyed. So all of this needs to happen. And you'll find that I'm talking about countries all over the world, that whatever is the old and not working will have a breakdown for something new to be reborn out of it. And this involves all countries around the world. So the fact that Venus and Jupiter are traveling together in the sign of Libra, Jupiter is actually being in trine to Neptune the whole month. And as Neptune trines this Jupiter-Venus conjunction, Neptune's all about the mystical, the spiritual. This will surface as well. But it also deals with film and movies. And there will be some outpouring of new movies that will inspire and heal and give us a sense of togetherness. So there's going to be some inspirational movies that heal the soul, heal the heart, bring out our feelings of connection to others. Because remember, what Venus is truly about is the heart energy. And Venus will open and heal the heart, leading to better relationships throughout the whole month that it is in Libra, from September till the beginning of next year, January. So another thing, let me give you some other dates that are quite interesting. For example, September 11th. This is going to be where Venus and Uranus exactly oppose. Now remember, Uranus is going to be around 7 degrees, Uranus 7 Aries and Venus at 7 Libra. And what this is going to do is this awakening of the heart energy. Remember, Uranus awakens us to the power of Venus during this time. But I wouldn't be surprised if it isn't a treacherous event, because Uranus does deal with unexpected change. And I do believe that this month will have an onset of many more earthquakes. We're not out of the water yet with this, no, because Uranus does represent shaky ground, and it does represent where things shift and change unexpectedly, which is an earthquake. So I also get that there's still storms brewing and calamity and destruction, because Saturn will actually station this month, meaning it will stand still before it goes direct. But the good news is almost all the planets are direct right now. Just the Neptune and the outer planets are still retrograde. But this is a powerful time for being able to change bad habits, because as everything was retrograde, that was a time to really look back. But now that the planets are almost all of them are almost all direct, it's time that we can progress, move forward, and make the changes that we feel were very, very difficult to work on and change before. So Saturn is going to turn direct September 6th at around 8 degrees of Sagittarius. Now, if you happen to have a planet around that degree, you have felt stifled, you felt stuck, you felt like things just couldn't move forward, well, you're going to get a little bit of a sense that things are being unblocked for you and things can move forward. So this will be very progressive, but when Saturn stations, either when it's going retrograde or direct, it usually instigates an event that is not always easy. It can deal with anything from problems with airplanes and explosions. So be aware that around that day, there's going to be some kind of event that shakes our world. Plus, September 11th is another day, but you may find, if you're looking for love, that on that day of September 11th, it can open your heart. There can be a chance, exciting meeting with someone. That's going to be powerful. Now, another event that I feel like is truly important is the fact that even Pluto will turn direct at the end of this month. And when Pluto changes, it's stationing, when it's either retrograde, stationing retrograde, or stationary direct, it also manifests major events that are huge and the breakdown of things that need to happen. So this is going to be the very end of the month, September 30th. Now, throughout this time, now Venus, remember, it does not go retrograde till October 6th, and it will stay retrograde till around November 16th, but stays in Libra for 4 months. But remember, when a planet goes retrograde, or prior to that, it's always closest to the Earth. So that means whatever its qualities and energy are about are what we need to learn, what we need to look into. And of course, I've made reference to Venus being about relationships. This will be the time of opening the heart and healing relationships. But notice, it's going to become extremely bright in the sky because it's closest to the Earth. But beginning around January, it became an evening star. This is all in the cyclic process of Venus when it goes behind the sun, in front of the sun. But in ancient times, when Venus became an evening star, in other words, it was visible in the night sky, the ancients really thought this was a huge event. It became an evening star last January. It will become a morning star in October, around the end of October. So you're going to find that Venus is still so bright in the night sky this entire month because it is an evening star, and that's significant. So it's bringing awareness to what Venus is all about. The fact that it is going to be so bright in the night sky throughout this month. And the evening star is very symbolic. We can see what Venus is all about. That's what it actually can represent. So because Venus is so powerful in Libra, it is a focal point. It will also be the midpoint between Rahu and Ketu during this time. In Western astrology, it's called the bends. But looking at Venus being at the midpoint of both Rahu and Ketu also focalizes this energy to be something powerful, magnificent, and healing. And I find that the periods after a Venus retrograde, approximately 9 months following that period, is a time when peace treaties or actions are made to bring peace and balance back to the planet that is necessary. So the whole cyclic process of the Venus retrograde is very meaningful and also symbolic in terms of what we're here to learn according to what Venus has to teach us. And I think it is very relevant that it is in the top sign of Libra, which is one of its most powerful positions to bring about. Well, Libra is the sign of relationships. It's relative to the 7th sign, which is Libra. So Libra's about relationships because it's relative to the 7th house as well in the chart, the house of marriage and relationships. But another thing that Venus is about that I didn't talk about is money. It deals with major money because I often say Jupiter is the planet of wealth and money, therefore Jupiter's the planet of millionaires. But Venus is the planet that deals with great luxuries. You know, those that can afford airplanes, jets, yachts, that's Venus. So Venus is, many times, I refer to it as the planet of billionaires. So the fact that Venus is going to be so strong and Jupiter disposits to Venus by being in Libra, the economy is going to be booming this month. There's not going to be any shifts or changes. Everyone's talking about how is the economy being so high. And through the summer months with the eclipses, it had some ups and downs, but I think it's going to smooth out. Remember, when I talk about the economy, this time period right now is symbolic of, well, it's actually not symbolic, it's representative of the last time that Rahu was in Cancer and Ketu was in Capricorn, which was 1999 in the year of 2000. Well, that is where they are currently. And remember 1999-2000, the economy was booming. It's booming again by Rahu and Ketu being in these signs. They will not shift out into Gemini and Sagittarius till March of 2019. And between March of 2019 through September of 2020, that is when they're going to be in the sign of Rahu being in Gemini and Ketu being in Sagittarius. This will be the most treacherous time. And this will be when an event will occur that will be reminiscent and on the same level as September 11th. So this is the pattern of the stars every 18 and a half years. When they come back into Gemini, Sag, Rahu and Ketu, there's always a huge event that will wake the world up. But until then, like the year 1999-2000, we had a very strong economy. And we had the stock market was doing extremely well. It will continue through the time that we still have Rahu and Ketu in Cancer, Capricorn, and this will prevail at least definitely till next March. But with Venus being through the sign of Libra through the end of this year, money and the economy are going to do great. So this is a positive. And as I've often said, I felt like when Venus went into Libra, it's going to strengthen not only the stock market, but also cryptocurrency. You're going to see a surge occur with this. So the Mars Ketu, remember that's reminiscent of bringing back the energy of the eclipses, especially when we're talking about September 24th through the 26th. And Ketu and Mars, they will be in the same sign till early November. So we're not out of the woods yet with these two planets together. They create extremes, they create attacks, and they create and pull up anger. And the end of October will be where Mars is going to cross over the previous solar eclipse degree, which usually creates a big event. But I don't think the big catastrophic event that I'm talking about will happen until we get Rahu in Gemini and Ketu in Sagittarius. That will be March of 2019 through September of 2020. So this entire month, you're going to find that Venus is going to bring wealth, prosperity, and it's going to bring togetherness. And there was a reason why I planned the conference during this time. So Venus is going to be healing relationships. And with Neptune aspecting this Venus, it's going to be beautiful. That's romantic love. And this whole month, you're going to find happiness, but togetherness. And another thing that I might add that is really, really important for you to remember is about relationships. And this is what I want to leave you with. Remember that relationships, all of this stuff, Venus retrograde is going to remind us that relationships are one of the most important aspects of our life. You know, I love what Ram Dass said. This is one of my favorite sayings. Ram Dass said, "So you think you're so spiritual, meditating 3 hours a day and being a strict vegetarian? Well, go spend a weekend with your family and we'll see just how spiritual you really are." Because this is applying the principles of love and connection to other people. This is so important that we come here together and heal these relationships. That's why we are here with the people we're with. And you've got to really open your heart and heal any past resentments that you've had with others, because that is why you're here. That is part of the karma and what you're here to heal. This month gives a powerful opportunity for this. So as I said, this is a month of new relationships, and I will probably do a video over all the signs relative to how this Venus retrograde is going to affect you personally, especially in the essence of the power of love. But remember that all relationships are a reflection of who we are. Everything out there is a mirror of something that we have to see within us. What we project out there will be mirrored back to us, and this comes through relationships. So this is the opportunity of healing ourselves through healing our relationships. This is the power of love. And this is what Venus is going to teach us throughout the next 4 months. So I'm really looking forward to September in terms of this healing power and the togetherness. Because remember, Venus is the focal point, and Venus deals with balance, peace, fairness, relationships, and love. And that's what's going to be stirred up and brought to the surface for us to look at, to stop all the stark polarization that's been occurring on Earth, to bring us together with a sense of healing. Because if we don't, then we need a wake up. And that's what the Rahu and Ketu, as it shifts signs, could bring, a wake up call, which is never easy. So let's promote coming together and healing our relationships this month. So with that, I'd like to close. If you would like more information about me or a transcript of these predictions, you can always go to my website, which is galacticcenter.org. Sign up for my newsletter. You will get these dissertations sent into your email. And if you would like to learn Vedic astrology, I have a new start date for the university, which is the special day of September 13th. And the university's website is universityofvedicastrology.com. And remember, join me at my conference here October 5th through the 7th in Dallas, Texas. That website is futureofastrology.com. Thank you.